Get all this carry on. Well, why are you here, sir? You don't need to stay here. True. You don't need to stay here if you don't want to be here, sir. Why are you ready for bed, TC? Thank you, Eb. So we shall wait for the guests. If you want to be on the show, please make sure you hit me up on IG. You need to have a business ideally, or SNS. In the process of building one. Alternatively, you can come in and do the entrepreneurial spotlight, which is where you pick an entrepreneur of your choice, and then you can come on the show and talk about it. What's up, Flowers? Thank you so much, Spicy. How you doing? Thank you, Flowers. How's everyone's day been? I'm good, love. I'm really good. I'm really, really good. That was a lot of good. That's how good I am. I'm blessed, Flowers. What you got going on today? Deanie. Thank you for being here, love. I'm just waiting. There's Councillor K. All I need is smooth belly now. About to leave for work or about to leave work? How's your day been, Councillor K? Deanie, what you got going on? How are you feeling? Going home. Yay. That's always good. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm blessed. Thank you, love. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Deanie. What's up, Chris? How you doing, young lord? How you been? I know you have your auction tonight, Chris. I just messaged. It's super late for me. I'm gonna try. Can't promise it. What's up, Mark? Let me message Smooth Belly and see where she is. How you doing, young lord? Queen V. Mark, I'm gonna need you not to request my guest box, sir. How are you, Queen B? You're hungry. Make sure you all hit Queen B with a favorite. Top badge, Queen B. Let me address you correctly. Make sure you hit with a favorite. Welcome, Crown. We're about to have a featured show, so please do stick around. It's going to be amazing. I can't help you, sir. I don't know where the best place in London to go. You can't request me, sir. I'm absolutely not requestable. Okay. Just not requestable. Okay, Councillor K, I may have to ask you to go first, love, because I'm not entirely sure where Smooth is. Thank you, True. Right, absolutely not requestable. Several seats. Dimples. How are you, darling? Getting on my last nerve. Thank you so much, Councillor K. I did want you to go second to benefit from the more viewers. So I'm really sorry that you're going first. First and foremost, please make sure you favourite the beautiful Councillor K.
Hi,
how are you, first and foremost? How are you, love?
I am doing well. It is the weekend, so I get to, like, party, have fun, and not think about adulting.
That's always the best thing about the weekend is no adulting, because adulting sucks. It sucks.
Hi, everybody.
So before we get into the business side of things, please just introduce yourself to everyone, when you stream, what we can expect when we come to your streams.
So I am a mother of 4. I have a 13-year-old biological daughter, and I foster my 2 nieces and nephew. So I can't commit to any specific schedule because I feel like that would aid in adding more stress to my life, and that wouldn't be smart. So I stream almost daily, but I try to stick to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday because it's my least busiest days. Sunday I do a 1 hour of praise and worship. Monday is mental health Mondays, but unfortunately, I can't give a specific time right now, but people still show up, and so the shows are still good. Yeah.
Amazing. And she sends blasts out, so don't worry about not knowing the time, because she'll send a blast and you can catch her that way.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we do.
Actually, don't send blasts. That's a good idea.
Okay, she's going to start sending blasts. We're going to start doing that because we don't have a specific time. And then let's go into. Oh, sorry. No, please go on.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I think that's it as far as like things that I do in the stream.
And do you appear on shows? So if somebody wanted to book you to be on a show, are you open to that?
I have. I'm actually going to be on Queen Me's show tonight. It's a cooking show. I'll be a judge on that show. But I said I don't know that I'll do shows on the weekends anymore because, I give so much of myself during the week. The weekends really are my time to kind of just do me. Yeah. But I'm so appreciative to be here, and I love talking about my business, which is mental health. So thank you for having me, Smurfy.
No, thank you for being on. I'm super. When Ed said we managed to catch you, I was like, yes. Super happy. So let's talk business. Please do let everyone know what it is that you do.
I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have a master's degree from Pepperdine University in clinical psychology with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. A lot of times people think that, like I'll tell people that and they say, oh, I don't need you because I'm not married, or I don't need you because I don't have a family. Marriage and family therapy is just the emphasis. It was just a specification in which I studied, but mental health covers everything. The individual, the group, the family, the couple, and the like.
So let's take it back to before you started your business. What was it that made you get into that field specifically, and then what drove you to make a business out of it?
So I think back to that, right? And I'm like, you're looking at someone who barely graduated high school, and to have a master's degree from Pepperdine University as this, girl who grew up poor, this little black girl who grew up in the hood. My mother was on welfare, father a heroin addict, in and out of prison. And I literally barely graduated high school. So to see where I am now, I know that it was only God who drove me and ordered my steps to this day. So I even with little like ambition at that time, I always knew I loved teaching. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to talk. And so it's interesting how God works, because our plan is not his plan. So his plan is always going to prevail. So I ended up in the field of psychology, the field of mental health. But I look back and I'm like, but I thought I was going to be a teacher. And I'm like, well, as a therapist, I am teaching. So it's wonderful. And I grew up in a family of dysfunction. So being someone, psychology helped me to understand myself and my family's troubles first. That's what the program does, so that while you're understanding yourself and how psychology, how you can apply psychology to self, you also learn how to help others, figure things out once you've figured it out for yourself.
And that's such everything you've just said there is so empowering, because I think there's so many people that think of having a business and think they needed to have had a silver spoon in order to do so, but you are clear evidence that with drive and ambition you can achieve anything you want. So at what age for you did you decide, I can do this and it is an option for me?
I'm literally, I'll probably bring up God a lot, because he really has governed my life. I remember sitting in a class. It was probably my first year at Pepperdine. And I was sitting in a class and the teacher asked, what is your long-term and short-term goals? And I said, my short-term goals was to graduate, and then long-term was to provide mental health services in the underserved communities. I knew that I wanted to run a private practice for specifically people of color. I wanted people of color to be able to understand mental health from the perspective of one who understands the struggle, And so I'm so thankful, because I don't even think my relationship with God was that intentional at that time. but God was always in me and all over me. And so to think back, thank you, to think back like, oh my God, I was, God was, he was in me and working in me way back then when I'm sitting in that classroom and I'm doing exact, because you know how you set a goal and you don't really, you know what I mean? Like you said it. and it, it's come to fruition. I'm like, I'm in awe. So I work in Compton, live in Compton. I can't believe that I've made that dream come true with the help of God, of course.
And how many years did it take for that dream to come true? Because I think what I notice when entrepreneurs come on here and they tell their story, they almost glaze over all the hard work that's been put in, because they're like, and I done it and I'm here and I'm successful. But let's touch a bit more about the difficulties in that and how long it took and the grind.
Let me tell you. So I started junior college in 1998. Okay, yes, I'm telling my age. I will be. I said that. I said this in the stream, and the people like my girls that I rock with, they were like, "Wait, I was graduating high school." Or, no, no, no. They said I was 6 in '98. I was like, "What?" I was like, F my life. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, am I really that old? So yeah, junior college in 1998, graduated with my bachelor's in 2003, started the grad program in 2007, graduated in 2010. So I've been practicing as a therapist since 2010. I became licensed in 2018. So it has definitely been a grind, along with still, and personal life doesn't stop, in pursuit of.
So the license, is that what then determines that you can start your own business?
Yes.
Okay. So before that, were you working for companies providing
Yes.
the services?
Nonprofit organizations.
And what made you decide that you no longer wanted to work for a company, but you wanted to take it into your own business? What was that? What made that decision?
Like I said, it had always been the goal because in the field of mental health, I've been in the field of social service since 2005. No, 2000. Yeah, 2005 when I graduated from with my bachelor's. Like I was around therapists, and so I was driven by being in the room. On a bachelor's level, I was in the room with master level, doctorate level people, and that gave me inspiration. And so I would hear like, oh, I work here, but I have my private practice on the side, and so I'm always inspired. That's how I got where I am, in spite of my foundation being what I described. I was always motivated and inspired by others that were doing, big things, and so you would hear that in my, in the places that I work. Oh, I also run a private practice, and so that's kind of like where like, okay, well, I want to do that too. Yeah.
And before you started studying psychology and figuring out how your family worked and what made them do the things they do and what drives you to do the things you do, you had to have built up a significant amount of resilience to then be able to step into that world. How eye-opening or difficult was it going into that field and then analyzing your life?
I would say, honestly, Smurfy, it wasn't that difficult because, as you probably know, being on this app, you learn so much about yourself, right? And I've learned being on this app that I've always been transparent about who I am, what what I'm about, what I have going on. Like, no matter, how bad, how ugly, how, unattractive, like, I've always been that girl, that woman. So for me, and I'm a secret, a closet nerd. I always say I'm a closet nerd. I can turn up with the best of them. I am hood first. That's where I come. That's where I come from. I'm hood first at my core. I just, God saw me through to college, but so I still have those other layers in me. But like, I've always like been giddy about learning. So in learning, I'm not just interested in learning about others. Like, I'm just as interested in learning about myself, but in the truthful sense, not in a false sense. Yeah.
That resonates so much with me because I've done a lot of work on myself over the years, similar-ish backgrounds and childhoods. But I think it's so important to be able to do that and that self-reflection as well, even if you don't have, you know, the degree or the qualifications needed to have that moment where you sit with yourself in your silence and understand your mindset.
Exactly.
I want to touch on COVID a little bit. How much did that impact your business for positive or negative reasons?
Actually positive. I went so I started my private practice in like 2019, but I only had two clients. In June of 2020, I got fired from the last person I ever worked for. Excuse me. I got fired, and as I begin to get on my laptop and type away looking for another job to apply for, I said, "Wait a minute, why?" Like, I don't ever want to put myself in a situation where, you know, that could happen again. And it was just politics around that termination. But anyway, um, so yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm already doing this part time. Let's go full throttle. So I literally, June of 2020, right hand to God, no lie, is when I went full time private practice, and I haven't looked back. And the business was like, you know, because it was necessary, especially mental health at that time, and still to this day.
Mhm.
I mean, mental health is going to be forever, right? I mean, you know, so I'm so thankful that I'm in the field that is going to be here forever. But yeah, like it was so necessary. So people were definitely calling. And at that time, I wasn't even on any insurance panels. I was just, it was all cash paying clients, and it was good business.
Thank God for the pandemic. Because that's almost what catapulted your business, which
It
is a great
really is.
to make something great out of something that's, you know, so difficult is amazing. And I'm sure you helped an abundance of people in the process.
I have. And you know, the interesting thing about therapy, Smurfy, is um, as therapists, we're helping clients, but clients help us in return. It's such a beautiful exchange to experience, really.
Absolutely. Um, do you have to do so? There's in the UK, and I don't know if it's similar there. You have to have sort of audits that take place where someone will come in, they'll look at your work, you'll have them discussions. Is that something that's needed in America, or is that just a UK thing?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
We are in if you're in the world of therapy, you have to have audits. So you'll have
Oh,
be a
audit.
senior qualified person that will come in and look at your work. Do you have that? Do you get spot checked?
So so here you only have to be audited if you're on insurance panels, which is why a lot of therapists opt not to be on insurance panels, which basically just means you don't get as many clients because you're you're um, you're only getting clients privately, not through insurance, not through insurances. So with when you are on an insurance panel, yes, you are subject to, but not necessarily like an annual thing, but you're subject to being audited. Yeah.
Okay. And separate to the feeling you get when you help someone, what is your passion when it comes to your job? Because that speaks clearly from when you're talking that that is such a driver for you. But is there anything else that is a passion for you with your job?
Um, I would say maybe a couple things since you're asking. I like that question. It makes me think. I would say I talk about this in my stream about how, like, I know that God is a strong force in my life, right? And God has, as my relationship with God gets stronger, He's told me in order to continue to receive the abundance of grace and favor that I'm giving you, you have to do something for me in return, and that's be of service to others, right? So I love the fact that I can be of service to others and get paid while doing it.
It's definitely a win-win. It's definitely a win-win
Winning,
situation,
winning over here.
right?
Yeah.
Make sure you hit Councillor K with the favourite. I know there's not many people talking in the comments, but I can see how many people are in my room. So there is quite a few people in here. Please make sure you hit Councillor K with a favourite. This is Biz Smarts with Smurfy. It's 4 p.m. Eastern every single Saturday. If you want to be on the show, hit me up on IG or message Ev on IG. Okay. What, and again, outside of helping people, What motivates you every day?
Not losing. Like I can't lose. Like I can't lose. Like I just I've seeing where I come from, seeing how far God has brought me. I feel like it is my duty to see His purpose through the purpose, the calling that He has on my life. Yeah. And I'm saying this, guys, but I want to be clear. I'm not perfect. I'm human first. I put that in my bio, you know. But I like when you know that you know that you know, like I know just based on what I've been through and the traumas and everything, like, and how strong I've been able to remain. Like, I just know what my purpose is, and I have to like stay focused in that direction.
And how important do you think it is for people to know their purpose in life and even on the app, understanding their why? How important is that?
I think it's very important because then you don't get lost in the sauce or lost in because it's easy to like get lost in what other people are doing or you know the vision or the goals that other people have, and it's important to support each other, right? But you got to focus. It starts with self. So if you're focusing on what everybody else is doing or what their goals are and helping them push, like what about, you know, what about yourself? You're losing yourself if you're not focused on self. So I think the gift is being able to focus on self, but also keep in mind, you know, or and keep in consideration um, others, but still if you're not taking care of self, you're no good for others.
Right.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Because I think a lot of people forget that. They're very much about helping other people so much that it drains their energy, it drains them.
And I think about that. That's why I work out, you know, twice a week. I want to do more days, but right now, like I said, I don't put too much on myself, you know. So I think about that, and that's what drives me to get to that gym every Tuesday and Thursday because I can't. I'm doing so much for others. I cannot forget me.
Mm.
I cannot. Yeah, self care. Yes. So this is self care, you guys. This is self care right here.
Because that was going to be one of my questions in your busyness of having your own business, plus being a mum, being a foster parent as well. What is your downtime? What is your way to refresh and get your mind together?
You know what's crazy? This dang app is I can't stand it. No, but I have really taken a liking to streaming. You know, and so yeah, I've definitely made the app like a form of self care. Um, like I said, getting my nails and feet done every 3 weeks, keeping my hair groomed. Just I want to make sure I'm looking good because if I don't look good, then I don't feel good. Um, so yeah, that I would say.
Love that. I love that because we can tend to forget ourselves as well in the process of being so busy and that hunger for success. Which leads me to my next question to you, which is what does success look like to you? What is your definition of success?
I always say this, Smurfy. Success is what you define for yourself. I told my mother that, rest in peace, that woman on welfare. I told her, I was like, Mom, you're successful. Like, success is what you make it. So I define it for myself. For me, it would be, I've always wanted to be on I told God, like, I want to be on a platform with the likes of like the Oprah Winfrey's, the J Lo's, the Ellen DeGeneres, and I use different ethnicities intentionally because I don't want it to just be about people of color. It's one race, the human race, and so I want to be able to relate. And that was another thing I was going to say that I'm passionate about. Aside from helping people, is being in my work, I see that I'm able to relate to almost any walk of life, any demographic. I really appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that gift that God has given me to be able to relate to almost anyone. And so, with that platform, the platform that I'm asking for, I want God to allow me to be able to touch not only Black people but Latinos, Asians, The British, no, I'm saying. But all walks of life, you know, rich, poor, no matter where you come from. And so, like I said, I told my mom, like, you were on you were on welfare. She was, well, yeah, she was on welfare when, at the time of her passing, she was on Social Security. But anyway, government assistance, right? Um, but she had 5 children that never saw a jail cell. You know what I mean? Like, and that are articulate and strong. So I find success in that. You know, a success is what you make it.
I think that's so important as a message as well, because I had this conversation. Aisha was my friend in the comments, and she works for a charity, similar line of work. And when I have my moments about my son, who's nearly 18, and I'm like, for the love of God, this child is driving me insane. And she's like, but look what you've done. And that's always her reference point, is you raised him. There's so many people that she sees that they are in jail, or, you know, they're in really messed up situations. And to be able to raise children in a difficult environment and still be able to raise good human beings is a huge credit to any mother, I think. So shout out to your mum for that.
Yes, yes,
Right.
she was amazing. Yeah.
Looking back over your whole career, let's do the whole career, not just the setting up the business. What's been your favorite memory?
Ooh, let me think. Let me think. Favorite memory. Oh, I have to say, getting licensed.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 4 attempts. So I remember finally passing that dang test after 4 attempts. I remember crying like a baby, like crocodile. I mean, like I could literally cry just thinking about it. And the first person I called was the person who has motivated me to be who I am. I met her in kindergarten. She's a medical doctor. I'm so proud of her, and she kept motivating me to not give up. Because after 4 attempts, I mean, or at that time 3, you're like, I'm not about to sit for another 4 hours at,
Right.
in front of that proctor taking his. I'm not like, no. But I did. I didn't give up. And on the fourth try, I became licensed. That
Huge
was
congratulations to you on that as well, because that is a major, major achievement.
thank you.
I have one last question, which is, what piece of advice would you give to someone that's looking to start their own business, but it's fear that's holding them back?
I would say do it. Steve Harvey has this video clip. I don't know if you ran across it, where he says, "Just jump." You know what I mean? Like I did. I mean, it took me getting fired, but I just jumped after that, you know? So just do it. Don't think about it. Know that there's going to be failure. Know that there's going to be setbacks, drawbacks, but keep going. Also, remember where you come from. Remember, like, the obstacles you've overcome in the past, because that's what's going to remind you that you will get through. This too shall pass, whatever it is, right? The other thing I think is so important is keeping things in perspective. So for me, for example, when I kept failing the exam, I kept beating myself up, saying, my colleagues, my peers, they're passing, they're off to, running their own private practices. Maybe I'm not cut out for it. But I had to put things into perspective and consider what was happening for me within the context of which my life existed. And around that time, I was suffering, or not suffering, but going through in the middle, not going, well, at the start of a divorce, well, maybe the middle. I'd separated from my daughter's father in 2014. I kind of started studying and attempting to pass the exam in 2016. So I would say kind of like in the middle. So I'm going through that. Also in 2016, I was battling to get my sister's kids. So putting things into perspective, you guys, and not beating yourself up, giving yourself grace, being kind to yourself, and pay attention to how nice and um, um, considerate you are to others. Do you give yourselves the same consideration? And that would be all.
That's a very valid point. Councillor Kate, this is the first time I've actually been able to have a conversation, because I never managed to catch your stream, but I'm definitely going to try. You are inspiring, and when you talk, it is empowering. So thank you so much for being on today. It's definitely lit a fire into me to get back to my list and start doing stuff. So I really appreciate you. Please do let everybody know when you stream. Make sure you hit it with the favorite.
You got to catch me when you can. No, but typically, I'm Pacific Standard Time, so it's typically nights because my clients work. They're adults, so like my last client is at 8, so I don't leave the office until 9. So I'm on like 9:30, 10 Pacific Standard Time during the week, and then weekends I have fun and I just kind of jump on. But I'm still a mother too, so sometimes I can't be on all the time. But yeah, I'm here. Look for me.
Make sure you hit Cancer Care with the favorite. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Smurfy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, EB, for hitting me up about the show.
Yeah,
Bye.
love. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Deanie Baby. If she can please request the guest box. Everyone, welcome. This is Biz Smarts with me, Smurfy. It's 4 p.m. Eastern every single Saturday, where I interview amazing business owners on the entrepreneurial journey. That was Councillor K. Please make sure you hit with a favorite. Please also make sure you favorite my top 3 of the stream. Currently, D'Angelo is the show boss. The show boss will be posted to Instagram after the show, so make sure you hit him with a favorite as well. And I believe Smooth Belly is here. If you can just put a 1 in the comments if you are Smooth Belly, that would be great. If not, we might string Deanie out a little bit more. Oh, there she is. We're good. Deanie, how are you, darling? How are you feeling first?
You know, last 2 days been a little rough. I think the weather's been changing, so I'm hoping it's allergies and not another virus trying to attack my body. But I'm having more good days than bad days. Just trying to get off this oxygen. I'm tired of this leash. So
It must be quite uncomfortable.
it
So
is. It's
I
like
presume,
feel like I have glasses on all the time. Even when I don't have my glasses, I catch myself doing this because of the thing in my nose.
right. And I presume as well you're not streaming currently because of it, or are you managing to stream?
I just over the last week have started to stream. Yesterday, I actually tired myself out doing 3 shows. I sang on 2 and was a guest on another show, and so it was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not ready for that yet, but you know,
Each day as it
I'm
comes.
getting there. I'm getting there.
It's
Yes,
good. I'm just happy you're getting there. You're out of hospital now, which is incredible. So
yes,
we
yes.
wish you so well. So I'm going to hand over to you. Who would you like to introduce
Okay.
and why?
Well, when I was asked to do the spotlight, um, I thought about my cousin Chelsea. She's my younger cousin. And when I told her that I was going to spotlight her business on here, I told her about you and who you were. She said, just she sends prayers to you and all that's going on in your side of the world. And she's just proud of the amazing fight that is going on. So she sends her love and prayers.
Thank you.
Her business is called Living in Vinyl. So it's LIVIN space N, the letter N, and then space in the word vinyl. And so she started with the passion for crafting when she was in high school. And she made this shirt, by the way, from the Super Bowl. So she does these amazing t shirts. As a matter of fact, she's sending me a Selena one because she knew I opened for Selena and she put out the Selena stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So she's sending me that in a cup. But she started, one of her first things she made was a tutu for her daughter's birthday. And people saw it on Facebook and started wanting to order them and asking her to make them. And then while she was making tutu, she started in nursing school. So, and I didn't know that about her until I talked to her recently. And she says she started crocheting on her free time. She would make hats, hand warmers, cute little stuffed animals. But then she had her second child, and he was born with a rare heart defect. And so he was not expected to live a normal life. And so she dropped out of nursing school immediately to care for him full time and spend every minute with him because, she didn't know what would happen. And so then she got a job at Walmart as a training coordinator for the Walmart Academy. But she kept taking on craft orders and it became her little side hustle. And then COVID happened. And so her kids couldn't go to school, especially her son, because with his heart condition, he couldn't be around other kids with the chance of him getting sick. I remember even during that time, I ordered a shirt from her for my dad, and having to just meet her on the porch, because COVID really, could have been detrimental to him.
Mhm.
But she changed everything again. She quit her day job. She was homeschooling her kids. She has three kids. She said it was the hardest decision financially, but she said I had to take a leap of faith to keep my son from getting sick. So she started adding t-shirts, making all these t-shirts to her crafting list, and then people went nuts. Like her shirt, if you go to her site, you can Google living in vinyl and find her site, and she has the coolest t-shirts, like everything you can imagine. And then she wanted to broaden her audience, so she opened an Etsy shop, and she started shipping all over the US within her first year. And then she opened up an LLC and launched her website, the Living in Vinyl LLC. Her business, this was one of her pride and joys other than her kids. But the best part is that she could be home with her kiddos. And then, like I said, she has three kids, and having to take them to practices, running them around, having a busy website and a busy Etsy page. Um, it, it's stressful, but she loves it. Her kids love to help, and they enjoy putting their own creative sense into her crafts. So she includes her kids in everything, and they help her design T-shirts. And then she recently added tumblers, and I love this tumbler because this is from my era, but
Is it?
it's got Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Dr. Dre, Eminem, all of them, and it keeps your drink cold. So I use it during my stream, but I'm just really impressed with my little cousin, and I'm so proud of her.
Is it?
So if you can support her business, she's got a lot of cool stuff. She stays current. Um, Recently, my sister-in-law ordered from the movie was it Encanto, I think,
Mhm.
with the little girl with the curly hair. It looks like my niece, and so she ordered it. Her birthday's tomorrow, so she didn't give it to her for her birthday. She works at Starbucks as a Starbucks manager, and she loves Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Well, Chelsea happened to have a Lilo and Stitch Starbucks cup. So she's got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff about being mom. She's got some stuff that has to do with her son's heart condition, because there's a lot of other heart moms out there. She does, for different sports. And I think, I know she's made a couple of personalized things for me that you can probably contact her, and she would do that too. So I'm completely impressed with this kid. She's not a
And does
kid,
she
she's in
have
her
an
30s, I think. But
Instagram page for her business?
huh,
Does she have an Instagram page for her business?
you know what? I don't know,
If you
but
could,
I can.
or if it's a website, if you can send me her details, I'll post it on my Instagram after for anyone that would
Okay,
like to put on an order, and then hopefully we can get her some more business.
sure. And then my Instagram is Deanie63. And if you miss it somewhere, message me. I will get you her information. But I'm just so proud of her because, like
It's
I said,
amazing.
she's got so many cool things on there. Like I said, she's sending me a Selena shirt and a Selena cup to match because, I opened for Selena in 93. So we were talking about it. So she says, I'm sending it to you next week. So
That's
it's
amazing.
exciting.
Make sure you hit Deanie with favorite. She's going to start streaming again. She's just getting herself
Yes.
100%, and then she'll be streaming more regularly. Deanie, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.
No, you are absolutely.
Love you, Smurfy.
Love you too. Everyone that's coming in, this is Biz Smarts with Smurfy. It's 4 p.m. Eastern every single Saturday, where I interview business owners on the entrepreneurial journey. And then I have a guest come in midway through to give us an entrepreneurial spotlight, which is what Deanie Baby just done. So please make sure you hit Deanie with a favorite. Please make sure you favorite the first guest, which is Councillor K. And coming in next is Smooth Belly. If you want to be on the show, our IG is at the bottom. So please do make sure that you, yes, Living and Vinyl. Hello, my love. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. It's a little bit low, though. I'm not sure what's the reason for that. These things always happen. These things always happen. It's like, what do I do?
Okay, is it better now?
It is better now.
Okay. Hi.
So, how are you, first and foremost?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Yes, I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm so good. It's been a blessed week, a very blessed week. Please do introduce your streaming side first. So when do you stream? What would we expect if we come to your streams?
I stream at random. Mostly it's at nighttime when I'm at work. You can pretty much expect anything at this point. I've kind of just let my guests take over. Whatever they want to talk about, I'm here for it. So yeah, no expectations. You just get whatever you get. Sometimes I sing, sometimes we laugh and dance and do crazy stuff. Who knows?
Okay, and then let's talk business. Please do explain what your business is and how people can order from you.
Okay, so I'm in holistics. So I do a lot of herb mixing, like with herbal teas. I do skin therapies, and right now my biggest product is aromatherapy hand sanitizer. You can find it at essentiallymoody.com or essentiallymoody on Instagram. I also make skin oils, which are really great for really dry skin conditions. So if you have eczema, psoriasis, anything like that, my oils are definitely pretty much acclaimed. And I have an anti-inflammatory ointment that like two doctors are ordering consistently. So I thought that
Wow,
was pretty cool.
that's amazing. Okay, let's take it back because you've got a lot going on. So let's take it back and do it in steps. So when did you start getting into this field of or this line of work?
So I've
Let's do that first.
it's okay. So I've kind of always been into herbs and nature stuff and how nature works with the body. I've kind of been doing it like on and off since I was a young girl. I got it from my grandma. I just went a little bit deeper with it. My anti-inflammatory ointment is actually my version of her liniment. She never gave me the recipe when she passed. I found her recipe and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is really cool. That is such a cool thing to have something that you've taken from your heritage. Because my family didn't do anything like that, so I imagine that's incredibly special when you have that you've kind of like got from someone in your family. Okay, so you've always been into herbs and natural organic ingredients. How did you then go from mixing this potion recipe, these ingredients, to then putting that into a business?
So it all started with nasal inhalers. I had a cousin who was suffering horribly with allergies and she couldn't breathe. And her mom was talking to my mom. So her mom is like almost 70 something right now. So she was talking to my mom, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. She can't sleep. She's miserable. And I was like, I know what oils can fix that. So I mixed some oils up, gave them to her as nasal inhalers, and it worked. She got her first night of restful, uninterrupted sleep. And once she did that, she started telling all her friends, and then everyone else was like, thank you. And then everyone else was like, oh my gosh, you should make this a business. And I said, a business? Me? Make this a business? Are y'all serious? So it started with nasal inhalers.
I love that. And again, like Counselor Kay, whenever anyone comes on and talks about their journey to becoming a successful business owner, they kind of just deliver it like that. And then I done this and I done this and here I am. So let's talk a bit more about the process of actually setting the business up. How did you go about it? What difficulties did you face?
So many mistakes, so many mistakes. I'm still in the grind, learning, get it together in solid phase. However, I have a lot of things in place I didn't have before. My entity structures were way sloppy before. I really didn't know what I was doing. I was taking advice from people who were kind of just hustlers and didn't have any structure. Hi, baby. So it was just interesting. Um, so I'm not exactly there yet. However, I have a lot more solid structures going forward. And then my experiments kind of just take off. I'll be like, hey, try this. And then somebody will be like, I love that stuff. How much are you gonna charge me? Like, it's an experiment. You're still in the case study phase. And they'll be like, no, no, I told my friends and we're all buying it. And I'm like, still a case study, guys. Still a case study.
So I presume, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of rules and regulations around the type of work that you do as a business. How do you maneuver that?
So right now, it's just considered a recreational therapy. It's not something that I'm actually clinically doing, and I don't necessarily need FDA approval for anything I'm doing at the moment. These are all ancient practices or ancient theories that have worked, but as long as I'm not claiming to be a doctor, as long as I'm not claiming it will guarantee anything, I always say results may vary. I'm just fortunate enough to have people who messaged me like, I didn't believe in your stuff, but let me tell you. I'm like, well, you tell them it's lit because I can't tell them it's lit. You tell them. But I'm gonna just say I do my best.
What I think even more so these days with COVID, that people are much more interested in natural remedies. So how do you market your products? Are you on things like TikTok to use that to your advantage for marketing? What's the best channel for you?
So far, it's been word of mouth, and I've delivered some packages to some streamers, like Troll in the comments has been